pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Justin Nestor. Pete Clideris.
Here.
John Gill.
Here.
Joe Gomez-Stagel.
Here.
Bob Valois.
Here.
Angela Mendez. Attorney Adam Decker.
Here.
Engineer John Dykstra.
Here.
Town Manager Bill Manasopoulos.
Here.
So I think today we're going to have the elections of officers. Get that out of the way right away. So for president, any nominee? Anybody wants to nominate?
I'll make a motion to nominate Justin Nestor for president.
Okay. Any second?
Second.
All those in favor? Say bye.
Say aye.
Say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Justin, come over here and take over, please. Whew. I won't wear your jacket.
Next item on the agenda, approval of the minutes for the December 6th.
We
gotta
need,
do vice.
we got to do a vice president.
Vice and then executive.
I lost my seat already. All right. Would entertain a motion for nomination for vice president of the planning commission?
I'll nominate Joe Gomez-Stagel.
I'll second. Any other nominations? Move to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, for appointment, election of executive secretary. Is there a motion?
I'll nominate Angela Mendez for secretary.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? Put to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, any opposed? Motion carries. Appointment of a plan commission member to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Gil.
Second?
Second.
Are there any other motions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And motion carries. Next, approval of the minutes from the December 6th, 2023 Plan Commission regular meeting. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the December 6, 2023 Plan Commission regular meeting minutes.
Second that.
Put it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next is public hearings. It does not look like there are any on there. Next would be old or new business. Subsection A, 2018-08 Rose Garden Phase 3, Block 3.
Good evening. I'm Doug Reddick with DVG. See some new faces here tonight, so hopefully you'll be seeing more and more of me as the months go by. I also have with me the developer of Rose Garden, Mike Granisey. He's here as well if you have any questions directly for him. But Rose Garden Phase 3, Block 3 is the last phase of this phase of Rose Garden, and we're talking about specifically just lots 1 and 2. The original plan for Rose Garden, this goes back probably 5-6 years. There's a desire to run that road on the east side of the project there south and connect to that dead-end road. But we have a real bad soil problem, wetland problem, and floodplain problem. And the desire is to change up the original intention of running that road through and putting a cul-de-sac there. We recently platted lots 3, 4, and 5 as block 2 of this phase. That's what's highlighted in red. And so what we want to do tonight is go for amended primary plat for this portion of Rose Garden. It's just the 2 lots, and we want to terminate the project with a cul-de-sac rather than a through street that it's almost impossible to build due to poor soil.
Is there a motion?
Comment. We did talk about doing something at the end of 92nd Place, I believe, to kind of help us out
Right. And
with a
and
turnaround.
I'm going to look at Mike real quick. Mike, we talked about that. You could do some kind of temporary.
Or-
Yeah, so he's agreeable to like a temporary, maybe it should be stone. It shouldn't be asphalt.
Sure, I agree.
A place to turn around your
Yes.
snow plows, garbage trucks.
Yes.
He is agreeable to that. We know the soil's bad. It's going to probably need
We will maintain that.
maintain over
Yes.
time, right? And then also, Bob, I want to talk to you about the water main.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the water main terminates at the very south edge of Lot 3.
Mm-hmm,
There's a fire hydrant and a valve there.
right.
I know there's always a desire to loop. In this case, we got to loop all the way around and back up. It's a lot of water main for not a lot of gain. Could we consider 2 long services for these 2 lots and not even change the water main at all? Or just extend the water main to the end of the cul-de-sac and put another fire hydrant there?
Self-flushing fire
Do
hydrant?
that too. if you-
Yes.
So I got a couple options, and we just need to clean up the engineering before we submit it. But if you would entertain the self-flushing hydrant, I think that's the route. It's probably a preferred way to go.
Yeah,
Are you okay with that?
I would be okay with
Okay,
that.
so
yes.
then that's how we're going to present it. I'll get the engineering wrapped up and get it submitted for review.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Item B, 2024-01, St. John Business Park.
Good evening, Jack Slager with Schilling Development, representing the St. John Business Park. I was here before the board once or twice last year, and so I wanted to come back, and I know there's some new faces up here, so we'll kind of start at the beginning, and this may be review for some, but this is a 55-acre site on the south side of Joliet Street between the railroad tracks and behind the Hack Cemetery. The property is currently zoned I industrial, and per the St. John zoning ordinance, the industrial district, the purpose of the industrial district is to provide for a wide variety of industrial, commercial, and office uses. We are calling this a business park. We are intending for it to be a little more business-oriented rather than full-on industrial. Also, the property is in your TIF district, and it also falls in your Riverfront Liquor License District. We only have about 35 usable acres out of the 55 after we set aside some land for floodplain and detention. So that allows us to do 25 one-acre lots. We did receive a variance on November 16th from the BZA that allows one-acre lots. The industrial zoning, your industrial zoning calls for a minimum size of 10-acre lots, and they gave us the variance to allow the one-acre lots. So there will be 25 minimum one-acre lots, and we brought this plan in front of the Plan Commission one other time on November 18th. We have a oversized main road coming in. We call that a collector road. It's got an 80-foot right-of-way with a 36-foot wide street, a little bit wider street. We've got oversized cul-de-sacs. We would stipulate no on-street parking. And our plan, our long-term plan is that north-south road someday be extended all the way out to 231. So That would be a sort of a main thoroughfare from north to south, from Joliet Street all the way out to 231. I have included a couple of example site plans of what a typical 1 acre lot could look like. They're at the bottom. So just a couple of samples of what we think a 1 acre lot could look like. This will be a little bit different than what your other industrial parks are nearby. We're looking for some, we'll have some architectural control. We'll be looking for landscaping. There will be sidewalks. But these are examples of what you'll see. These lots will fit anywhere from like an 8,000 to a 12,000 square foot building. You may see some multi-tenant buildings. Again, on these examples, the top one might have 3 tenants, where you would have the offices on the south side of the building and overhead garage door on the north side, maybe a subcontractor, electricians or plumbers, things of that nature. The other building would have offices on the corners and garage space in the center or warehouse type space. But we would, again, your current industrial zoning has minimal rules in terms of architectural style. You do have parking, landscaping, signage, and lighting requirements, and each lot, as it is sold, will be required to come in and actually have a review before the Plan Commission for a site development plan for each individual lot. So once we know what the businesses are, they'll be required to come back before you for individual site plans for each of those lots. We will be adding additional architectural requirements and, like I said, landscaping requirements also. We did begin marketing the site last year with a sign on the property. We have had some interest. I will say about 50% of the inquiries are local businesses in town that are looking to move or expand. So that's a good sign. We would develop this in 2 phases. If you want to go back to the overall plan, the first phase would be lots 1 through 11, which would be the entire east side of the street. We would put that main street in all the way from north to south, and we would get lots 1 through 11 on the east side. The 2 cul-de-sacs would come later as a phase 2 as the site builds out. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them at this time.
With a 2024 start date?
Yes.
Are there any provisions, or how are you going to deal with traffic on Joliet?
So, yeah, we actually had a staff meeting last week or the week before. We had a good meeting with all the staff. We talked about traffic. I also have a couple guys here from DVG that have worked on the engineering. They did do a basic traffic study that looked at traffic flow on Joliet and the traffic flow that would come in and out of this development. We will be installing a dedicated left turn lane into the site. So we will be expanding Joliet both north and south at our entrance. We'll have a dedicated right turn lane coming in and a dedicated left turn lane. So traffic will be able to pass east and west without being obstructed if there's somebody waiting to turn in. After they ran the numbers in the traffic study, they give ratings of anywhere from A to an F in terms of waiting time and things like that. The lowest rating that was received after they ran the traffic study was a C, and that would be for vehicles exiting the development and going left at a certain time of the evening, like 5 o'clock. Waiting to turn left out of the development would receive a C rating, which is still an acceptable wait time. It's like 40 seconds or something like that. So, so they have done some examination of that, and like I said, we will be doing expansion of Joliet Street.
Any other questions, comments?
Mr. Slager, do you plan to propose restrictive covenants? for
Yes.
the subdivision?
Yeah.
That would include the no parking restrictions that you referred to earlier?
Yeah, we'll have restrictive covenants. We also will have an HOA, a homeowners association, or a property owners association in this case, that will take care of any entrance, landscaping, detention areas, Not plow the streets, sorry. I know the meetings, your meeting schedule is a little bit backwards this month. I know we do have another opportunity in 2 weeks to come back for another study session, or we could come back for another study session, if there were questions. But our hope would be to come before you in the mid-February Plan Commission meeting for a public hearing. So we would like to be able to advertise for the public hearing and conduct the public hearing mid-February. We did get some comments from Robinson Engineering this afternoon. Those have been forwarded to DVG, and they will begin working on those. I think they felt like they could have responses by next week, end of next week, so.
If no one has any questions, I would, Jack, or Mr. Slager, I would plan on being at the next study session.
Sure.
Because I think there will be some questions.
Okay,
All right.
yeah. Yeah, I'm welcome to come back.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, my name is James Huss from DVG, working with Jack on the engineering. As he just alluded to, we did just receive comments from Robinson Engineering this afternoon. We have reviewed them since then. Given the way the meeting schedules shake out, we obviously will still be back on the study session, the official study session. Our request would be, presuming that we can respond with an updated engineering plan back to the village engineer, would the town allow us to advertise for the public hearing, assuming that we have the updated set to the town engineer by next Friday? We've reviewed the plans, and we do expect we can provide a responsible response and address all of Engineer Dykstra's comments.
So if the answers come back and John can get with all of us, I don't see it being an issue, depending on what happens when we go over those answers.
Yeah, I did have communication today with DVG staff. They assured me they can respond to them, that they were not major changes on their part, and as long as they respond and make the requested corrections, I think they can meet their timeline, was my opinion, so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, if there's nothing further, I'll see you back in 2 weeks.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item C, 2024-02, Suncrest Christian Church.
Again, Doug Reddick from DVG. We do have representatives from Suncrest Church here as well, if we have any specific questions for them. Okay, so what Suncrest Church owns this property at about a little over 18 acres on 231, just east of Park Place. The intention ultimately is to build a new Suncrest Church on the property. The portion that's highlighted there, it's in two parcels right now, and it's going to be a multi-stepped process. Jenna, I think I sent you that. Don't you have that preliminary land plan that they were?
No, the only thing that I have is this
Survey?
plat, and it's not that great, so I printed off the GIS to kind of give a better idea of the
Well, I
location.
happen to have a handout. If you don't mind, I'll pass these out real quick,
Yeah, absolutely.
because I think it'll make a little bit more sense. Thank you. I do not. That's all I got. Can I move this forward just a little bit, Jenna?
If you want this one, I can share that.
Can I move this forward a little bit?
So, no problem.
That looks appropriate, I think. So the intention is to build a strip center strip mall and also a church on this property. But several things will need to happen. We've been talking with their attorney. One thing that has to be resolved is we need to meet with the town council because there's a court, I don't know if it's an ordinance or a covenant in the Gates of St. John that only allows one church. And this will be a second church within the subdivision. So one of the things we're going to be doing is petitioning the town council to amend the Gates annexation ordinance to allow a second church. Mr. John Lawton, developer of the Gates, will need to agree to that, and he has verbally agreed to that already. So that's one of the first steps that we're going to be attacking here. We will need to petition the BZA for a special exception to allow a church in a residential zone, in the 231 overlay district. We'll have to petition the Plan Commission to rezone the portion highlighted in yellow there where the strip mall will go, because right now the whole property is zoned residential, R2 PUD, I believe it is. But the church parcel will remain the same zoning, but will need this special exception. We're also going to be doing a 2-lot subdivision, creating lots much as like is shown in the exhibit that I left there. So at the Plan Commission level, we're looking at a rezone and a subdivision plat. And then the immediate goal is to build the strip mall. It's going to be a money generating project for the church. That's the purpose of it. And then the church, they're not quite sure when they're going to start the church, but the plan is to get to the different council, BZA, Plan Commission, and then get the subdivision plat done, and then ultimately a site plan approval for the strip center would be the kind of the order of business here. So that's kind of, I think I covered almost everything there. The stormwater detention is taken care of in the Gates. We got to work out the details on the engineering side, but that's why you don't see any stormwater detention on the property, because it's already been accommodated for in the retention ponds in the Gates. So that's why it looks a little unusual. This is not the final design of the church. This is not the final design of the parking lot. It was just kind of shown to kind of give people an idea of what it could look like. And of course, the church wants as many parking spaces as they can get. So that's kind of what we're looking to present tonight. Nate Viss is the attorney, and he's going to be working with the town council and the BZA, working on the rezoning and the amending the ordinance. And then we'll be working with you folks on the rezoning and the subdivision work and the site plan. So, does anybody have any specific questions? Yes, Bob.
Does this pick up the runoff from the south of 109th there?
Yeah, it does. There's a culvert underneath the highway.
And that will be addressed in...
Yep, in the preliminary engineering.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
You will.
Item D, 2024-03, Lot 1 in Sahas Edition.
Hi, I'm John Sajas. I'm the property owner. And we're here today to request permission to build a house in Lake Hills. I think the original plat had us building it on the house facing on Lakeside Court. And due to the grade of the property, the best way to fit the house on this lot was to face it along Winding Trail. So I'm here to ask permission to have it built that way.
Any questions, comments?
If I may, Mr. President, this is just a simple, he would take the certificate of amendment for the address up to the county to have it recorded. This is kind of taking that step to put it before a public meeting, make the public aware, make us aware as well, because we've had it in the past where people have just gone and recorded documents that we were unaware of. So this is just taking that step. This is the only item on the agenda tonight that would require a motion from you guys.
I would entertain a motion to approve the certificate of amendment.
I'll make a motion to approve this certificate of amendment for the address for Sejas Edition.
Second.
Put it to a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Oh, thank you.
All set,
All
thank
right,
you.
Thank you.
There was an item E, but it's been removed from the agenda.
Yes, that is correct.
And with that, we would open it up to public comment. Twice?
You got one right there.
I had a couple questions. This is with the.
Sir.
Come up to the podium.
Yeah, come to the
for us,
podium.
would you please?
And please state your name and address for the record, sir.
My name is Martin Mitchell, and my address is 10717 Juniper Lane in St. John. Don't ask me the zip code, I don't know it yet. 46373. My question was with the Suncrest Christian Church. I know some of the answers have been answered tonight, but my question is, instead of a C2, couldn't they zone it as a C1 based on what it sounds like the church wants to put there, more like a coffee shop or restaurants or whatever? Where I know C2, they can build something bigger. I know the property's only going to be 2.5 acres of what they want to use, but for what it states that the church wants to put up there, would a zoning a C1 be more apropos for what's going to go in there?
I don't know if I got the sense of what's gonna go in there yet though either, given the steps. I don't know if that's a little premature at this point, given, I don't know if they, they identified the tenants, who the users of that would be. And they had several steps before they can come back to us to ask for the rezone change anyway. So I think, as that plan develops, I think we could probably address that concern
Okay.
in the future, knowing that, no decisions have been made formally, at this point.
Okay. And then, once it is rezoned, do we have any, does the public have any chance to approve what can go in there? Like, a gas station gives off a lot of odors or whatever, but would we have any kind of chance to vote on what we approve, what can go in there?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, with to rezone, it has to come back before us in a public hearing anyway. right?
Okay.
So there'd be the opportunity for public comments, remonstration, things like that. But once the zoning change has been made, anything that's permissible use within that zoning classification can be in there.
Got it.
That's gonna be the ultimate determination, I think.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other comment, questions? One last item, adjournment. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.